and welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this sunny Tuesday afternoon. I hope you all had a great start into the new week. Markets in the US were closed yesterday since it was President's Day, so this marks the first day of the week that markets are going to open. Pre-market is obviously already open, but official open will be in 20 seconds. As always, before we jump into the markets and my portfolio, let's take the usual disclaimer out, or let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And the one thing I truly recommend, if you haven't done so, is go and check out the Elliott Wave principles, so the strategy that I'm using. You can read this wonderful book for free when you use the link in the description down below. And you can use the same link if you want to get a physical copy as well. That said, let's jump to my portfolio right here. As we can see, we have a break-even start into the day, slightly green touch to it, not much changed. Our portfolio is unchanged. Hi, Akashi, great to have you here. Bio, once you're here, please let me know as well quickly in the chat, so I know you are here. So our portfolio is unchanged. We still hold 600 shares of GameStop, against which we have 6 covered calls sold that expire on March 28, 2025. So that's 38 days till expiration, which means once the markets open in actually 3 minutes, we will check how the premium changed and if rolling them out would be profitable for us or not. In general, thanks to theta decay, so the basically time option of options, the biggest impact in my opinion theta decay has on the options is between 45 and 20 days, or no, 45 and 30 days. So that's the 2-week period where, in my opinion, the options lose the most value thanks to theta decay. And therefore, if we open options or if we write options with 45 days till expiration, and then wait 2 weeks, we, depending on price movement, of course, and other factors as well, should have the sweet spot to roll them out to again have 45 days till expiration. Outside of that, we obviously hold a few other positions, but they're not that big or relevant. So we'll jump into the chart and we can see GameStop. Yes, it's the first stream of the week. Let's zoom out a little bit and actually summarize. So we believe, while I don't label this part here because I'm not sure, it looks like a free wave pattern. Therefore, it could be part of the correction still. It's possible that the orthodox end of the corrective wave, which is actually this point. We do, however, have a nice wave 1. Hi, Bio. Thanks for letting us know that you're here. Yes, exactly. Humble is a word I would use to describe you. So we have an impulse wave in progress where we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and wave 4 potentially finished here, and could now potentially be in the 5th wave that would have a target between 33.89 and 41.45. So mostly we have a very clear 3rd wave pattern. So the 3rd wave of this 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 3rd wave subdivides very, very nicely into another 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our 4th wave retraces pretty much exactly 61.8%. We're not out of the woods yet. There's still the theoretical option that this is only part of the correction and there's another push down. But looking closer, so on the 1-hour chart, for example, I do believe that what we have here could be basically wave 1 or wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and then followed by the next 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be another push up, or we have basically would have to look even closer. Not sure if we get a nicer picture than here. Oh, there we have a pattern that is irrelevant. So on this chart, then it becomes a little bit too cluttered. Point is, even on the hourly chart, there's the option that this is basically ABC, and from here we get our next push down as part of the correction. So as I mentioned, this could be wave A, wave B, and then wave C further down before we go further up. But it's also possible that indeed, oh, Lulu, okay, we're going to check that later, that indeed we have here our wave 4 end and are now in the 5th wave. For our position, in not much changes. As said, we can check now if we were to, although our calls would now cost a little bit more since GameStop has increased in value, but if we were to close out the March 28 37 calls, so by buying them back, calls, buying back, and in return roll them out to again 45 days, we can see that that would only happen. Oh, actually, it would be plus minus zero. So we would actually, after fees, earn exactly $1 per option. That's not worth the effort unless we would also be willing to roll them down, but that's giving up profit potential. So if we roll them instead theoretically to the $35 strike price, we can see, oh, okay, it also only gives us a $6 credit, so minus $1 fee. Yeah, it doesn't make it that much better. And rolling it much further down, for example, the 30 strike price, where we, however, would risk having our shares called away, we could pocket a potential $660 in premium right now, since we have 600 shares. So you can see 670 euro minus commissions. Might be tempting, but with that, we basically would roll them out further. So right now we are at March 28, and we would have to roll them basically into early April. And yeah, so which means, and we would have to roll them down to here, which would make it very likely that they get called away. And if they were to get called away, we obviously, it would mean that if the price goes to 34 and then they get called away, they get sold at 30, which means we also miss out on the profit potential. So rolling them right now, not an option, because yeah, there's no benefit. We would pocket a couple $100 in premium. But on the other hand, if we were to see a rally past 37 right now and stay above 37, then our shares would be sold at 37, which again would make, compared to here, $700 difference per 100 shares. So we are talking about a $3,500 difference if that were to happen, if we get the rally up. Now, however, on the other hand, if this is wave A, B, C for wave B, and we get a wave C push further down, in which case, let's check how where the target for wave C would be theoretically. So the 78.6 retracements, so around 22, would be a suitable target area. If that happens, then obviously it will take a little bit of time. We already will be in March. And however, it will make also, or it will also reduce the value of our current option, which makes rolling it then a better deal for us potentially, or closing them out. So yeah, so right now we keep our GameStop position as it is, and yeah, I'll have a sip of Apfelschorle and then we'll move on to the next thing on our chart. Actually, one thing I need to add to the list, because I had an alert for it and apparently we don't have it on the list anymore, is Lulu. I'm not sure why we have the alert, but we have an alert. So let's open that up and see if we get the chart to load. I still haven't had the time to look into why sometimes the chart is not loading. And maybe, yeah, probably will not manage this week either, but I promise during the next couple of weeks, I will dig into this to figure out what is causing the problem. Because clearly we are connected, which you can see in the bottom left corner by those two icons. So, and clearly we are fully connected in Interactive Broker. So there should be no issue whatsoever to get the data. I'm fairly certain if I add Lulu here, so Lulu stock, and just say charts, new chart, yeah, that we get a chart. Yeah, so I don't understand what's the issue. Oh, now we have a chart. Okay, so we're gonna have to take a look at the bigger picture here first. Okay, so yearly chart, not very helpful. Monthly chart will already offer a lot more candles. If we focus just on this area here right now, so we can clearly see we have an upward move followed by some corrective move. Yeah, so, and if we check here, although the historical data might have some flukes in it, but we can see that probably the, yeah, I'm gonna have to add that manually, 21.4 retracement is not that common, but it happens as well. So the 21.4 retracement serves pretty much as where this thing here, yeah, it goes a little lower, but we don't reach the 38.2. So let's clean up that retracement here. So just so we don't clutter the chart. So basically, yeah, it doesn't help very much if we add that here. Okay, no retracement for us. So, but what I believe we have here is basically we have a corrective pattern. I mean, that's obviously in the past, yeah. So like this, A, B, and C, which means we start off our next wave theoretically from here, where we would have on first glance wave 1, wave 2, although 2 could be dragged out till here, and then wave 3 is here, and now we are in wave 4. And the alert that I had was to say potentially finished wave B, yeah, which means if we consider this correction, or what is a correction, as A, B, and then wave C still outstanding, yeah. If this is our third wave, we can throw retracement here. So I don't know which one is higher, this one, 516, yeah, so the left one is higher. So let's move this, and then also let's move this. And then we'll also have to move that starting point for wave 0. So if this here is indeed the right pattern, because even in here, so if we double check this, if we throw an extension here for wave 1, we see that our third wave terminates at the 361.8. So that's the one we keep from the many possible options that we have. So we see that we terminate here, which means we can subdivide this entire third wave in a nice impulse that looks like this. Yeah, so, and even with the naked eye, you can see impulsive waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. And then here it's a little harder, but potentially, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that one subdividing further is a little harder on the monthly chart, but I'm sure it would work on a lower time frame, which means again, or additionally, if this here is now only wave A of the correction, then we would now have, what's the high point? 423, 420. So that's actually the higher point. We would now have profit targets actually below this point. So at the $200 mark would be the first profit target, which is an almost 50% decline. If somebody were to short it right now, the stop loss would need to be at the high here, 423. So like 20% risk, 50% upside. So not the best, not the worst risk reward ratio that we've had in the past. Yeah, we don't have any available funds because everything is tied up in other positions. So I don't hold a horse in this race. But from the looks of it, as said, so if we look at the yearly and monthly chart, it looks like we finished basically an impulse here, have a correction here, and finished another impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 not finished yet. So 4 in progress. And 4 should then take us down here, which however, obviously, just like this year started in 23 and went till 24, so more than a year. And then here we have a year, so this can also take a year, 2 or 3 until this whole thing plays out here. But for the immediate future and for the midterm future, I don't expect any upside here. Yeah, worst thing that could happen is I'm wrong and we go up from here, but again, then there is a 20% risk right now, so yeah. I don't know when and why we looked at it specifically, but as said, it's relatively obvious or visually obvious that this is only part of the correction, second part, and now we get to see the third part. Since this was a very sharp corrective move, the second part should be drawn out or dragged out, yeah. And anyway, so with that, we can move on to some of our positions. Immersion, we're still waiting to finish or to see the finish of the correction by hitting either at least the 50% retracement or the 61.8% retracement. Cost, we are not sure about this entire mess, but we're holding on until or unless we break the level here, which would be where we would cut our losses. Until here, the pattern is relatively clear and indicates that we should be in a third wave. However, if this is not 0.2 and this is just part of the correction, and there would be further downside. That's why for now, yeah, like I don't see a clear picture in this area. Therefore, we're just holding on and are basically waiting to see how it develops. until we get a clearer picture. If I would get a clear picture that points towards further downside, then I would obviously cut my position sooner and just accept that I was wrong entering. But for right now, there's still the possibility that I'm just not capable of seeing the pattern in here that should be there, and that will still get another fifth wave push here. NEO, like NEO, we covered extensively the last couple of weeks. I believe as far as the pattern goes, I said we have a wave 4 end, and then the fifth wave starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're correcting this entire 5-wave impulse. We went there already to the 78.6 retracement, which is kind of like our last line of defense. I called this one wrong, unfortunately, twice. First here, although if you would have entered here with a trading stop loss, you would have made a decent profit. Second time here, same scenario. If you would have entered with a trailing stop loss, you would have made a decent profit. We right now hold 100 shares, which is not the end of the world considering the low share price. And the big question will be, is this now indeed the end of the correction? If so, the next target would be here, the 528 to 542 mark. And then from there, we should make our way. We don't have the bigger profit targets on the chart anymore. Because they would be defined differently. But from there, we would then obviously go further. So as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5 push. And depending how this all fits in the overall pattern, we should long-term actually go even further up. So much about that. In the crypto markets, we haven't had time to relabel a lot of things. XYO, we have to relabel the whole mess. Bitcoin, we have to relabel. But for now, the short-term labeling is okay. There is the option that we retrace down to 82,000, which is perfectly fine if it were to happen. And then from there, technically we could go lower as well to the 61.8 retracement at 70,000 roughly. But from there, we should then see our next wave. Obviously, we're on a daily chart, so we're talking about a couple of weeks or months for this to play out. If there is still another push, theoretically, the correction could already be over with the push or the retracement to the 21.4% level. So if or when we break the low that we had here at 91,178, we would have confirmation that indeed the correction is still in progress. We should see at least the 38.2% retracement. And so that's that about that. Algorand, we don't have a clear full labeling. There might be another push, potentially maybe towards the 61.8% to make this a big three-wave corrective move. But after that, there should also be another push further up. So cheaper entry is potentially possible. And currently, whatever you hold or whatever people hold, in my opinion, I would hold it. But only time will tell if that is right. HNT should, as said, go a little lower below the level that we had here. So to around 260 to finish this corrective wave for a big three-wave corrective wave. And then actually see its next rally further up to potentially then reach, we're on a weekly chart, so we're talking about maybe next year or so a new all-time high. Storage irrelevant, XRP, we have to relay, or no, we don't have to relabel. Or we should verify at least, so no, but from visually it looks like 1, 2, 3 now finally finished at the 361.8 retracement that I still called too early when we touched it here. And the question is, are we now wave 4 finished, or is this just A, B, and now we get a wave C down to, so dragging out a little bit. Possible that we move sideways into April, so for the next 6 weeks, let's say, to get out of the acceleration channel and maybe touch the 38.2 retracement. So if it would touch 160, I believe that might be a good entry point. It might obviously go lower to the 61.8 retracement, so this would be an area to potentially enter again, and for then a potential fifth wave. Visually, this really looks like a textbook 1, 2, 3, 4 in progress, and then fifth wave that goes even higher. Again, but if we look at the calendar, since we're on a weekly chart, we're also looking into potentially seeing a new high in 26, or towards 26. What else do we have? We want to look at front line. If we get a chart, we'll give it a minute or two. No chart. Let's wait a little longer. I know it's like Yes, no chart. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. So I said I'll still have to dig into this. I don't understand. Maybe if I have it, but I don't have it monitored here. So if I have it here, maybe then no, but I also don't have fossil on my watch list there, or do I? No, so I don't see the connection, like what's causing. Can remove it, remove ticker, and then we say edit again. So that would be this one. Or actually switch somewhere else, then remove the ticker and then edit again. So maybe that helps. That wall poster behind, it's maybe you can read it if we switch here while we see if the chart loads. It's something that I printed back when we were still in Ukraine in Kharkiv. So it's yeah, like it's from a wallpaper from Lamborghini, obviously, and with an overlay that says success, nutrition facts, and then basically 100% hard work, hustle, focus, persistence, discipline, patience, risks, also failure, blah, blah, blah. Daily values are based on high levels on hustle, ambition, and hard work. So yeah, at some point this used to be, yeah, my dream car maybe. So like, yeah, so to some extent, it's not necessarily anymore, although I wouldn't say no if I get one gifted for sure, yeah. But yeah, so I'm not done yet with decorating. As you can see, it's still fairly empty. I'm a little bit annoyed that the tripod is visible, but the way it's positioned here, it's in quotes perfect to record the shorts for the main YouTube channel. Might be able to move it a little bit further back once I cleaned up the stuff that's on the side of it. So yeah, like I like to have the setup in a way that we don't every time have to put things in place, and so that it's kind of, you know, like if I just like with our recording corner, which I might share a picture later on Discord or so once I'm fully happy with how it is. But so that basically you don't have to, you know, set up the camera, set up the lights, set up this, but you can just sit down, press record, and get it done. And the same for things like that. Anyway, so here the background is not done fully yet. Probably, so here something's still coming, just not sure what yet. We'll see that in the future. And yeah, anyway, so chart's not loading. We can switch back and admire the chart that's not loading, yeah, which is a pity, but yeah, if we have it here, we can quickly look. So I said in charts, new chart, yeah, so. And we're here on a daily candles. Okay, and then can I, how do I, here, that's how you zoom out, yeah. So as that, I believe that visually there might now be some correction, yeah, but visually we finished our correction as I've shared in previous streams when the chart was still working. And now we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's potentially wave 5. It makes a new high, doesn't go super high, but which means right now we would be retracing this entire 5-wave move. So as a B, C, probably down to 16. So another 10% drop possible. So B might not be finished. There might first be a little bit upside before we then see the wave C push. And that marks then wave 1, wave 2. So personally, I believe now would be, again, just my opinion, don't bet your house on it because I believe something, that right now might be a good time to enter. So to accumulate shares as we correct down into the area of 16. It could go a little lower. Stop loss would need to be here at the low that we had, whatever it is there, so around a little bit above 13. And yeah, so there is a little bit of risk. But if it's correct, then we would actually then after that see a probably 100% gain or more over the next couple of months. So after this pattern played out, yeah. Yeah, you already bet your soul on it, yeah. Yeah, Akashi, not much to lose there for you, or is there? You soulless being.
Yeah, no birthday wishes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, so Irina says no, that you forgot my birthday is like unforgivable. Yeah. So you recalled hers, but you don't know mine. I'm gonna go in the corner and cry now a little bit. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah, should feel ashamed. Yeah, we don't get a chart here, so what can we do? Moving on, do we get a chart on NVIDIA? What's NVIDIA doing? Yeah, so they're, like we said, so ABC, so actually ABC, ABC, ABC. So from the looks of it, really, we have a nice flat corrective pattern, or alternatively, the correction just from here. Tricky choice. But basically, correction finished and onto new heights we go, yeah? You don't like birthdays, that's what I remember. Yes, that's perfect, yeah? So you know my birthday, but you decided not to congratulate me because I don't make a big fuss out of them. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so more upside on NVIDIA. We don't have the full picture labeled, but visually, I wouldn't mind being in there. I mean, if you want to play it safe, you can use some generic trading methods and just draw yourself a trend line that goes like this and basically wait for a confirmed break of that trend line. So when we break out and when it goes down, it can touch, the wick can go through, but the next candle should close outside of this. Then you would have your additional confirmation that from here we go up. Otherwise, obviously, if you use regular, like more basic, in quotes, trading strategies or methods, you could just use, like that trend channel would be. But I believe that trend channel would lead you to short here and then be surprised once we get the breakout, yeah? And as said, so I believe there's more upside, but if you want to wait, then wait for a breakout from this channel here. That's confirmed, and then, So yeah, if you know my birthday, then when is my birthday? I'm curious, like, or when was my birthday? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Discord. Yeah, Akashi is already in Discord. So, but everyone else that's lurking, jump on Discord, like, subscribe, enable notifications. You know the drill, or I'll stand by you after you. And yeah, so NVIDIA, not much else to say here, I guess. And do I care about anything else here right now? Honestly, not that much, because we are mostly in games. Our Barnes & Noble, we already looked at, yeah. So there we're still waiting for the next push up. We have a perfect retracement here to 78.6, almost on the dot, or not? 935, 944, 89. So although it looks weird, so making sense of this part here is a little tricky, but visually it almost suggests that this is 5-wave diagonal followed by retracement to the 78.6% level, and now we are slowly getting our next push. This could still be part of the correction. It would then need to be in some form, maybe, it's like hard to see a pattern in here. But it could still be part of the correction, but either way, I believe there's another push too, so we keep our small position in BNet as well, yeah. And yeah, I think with this, we actually are going to call it a day here. Feel free to, I actually changed the stream settings a little bit so that after this, or after we end the stream, you're automatically redirected to the live stream on my main channel. I'm impressed. Did you Google it? I'm sure it's written somewhere online. Yeah, no, I'm impressed. I celebrate you, Akashi. Yes, you're right. February 17th, yeah. Anyway, so after the stream ends, you're automatically redirected to my Common Chaos live stream, which is part of the live streams that I host on my main YouTube channel about crypto and passive income. Feel free to, join there. It starts in then 30 minutes, basically, or 35. And thanks, Akashi, for stopping by, interacting a little bit with me. Thanks, Bayo, for doing a great job despite not having a lot of activity to interact with. And thanks everyone else that lurked in between. I hope you were able to take something away from today's stream. With that, let's switch here real quick. Again, like, subscribe, enable notifications. Have a great rest of the day, and then see you all maybe later in my Common Chaos live stream, or maybe tomorrow for another episode of Daily Market Mastery. Till then, bye-bye.